Good morning, everybody. It's playoff time. It's here at long last. Canes, Texas A&M, Saturday noon, ABC. If you're watching in South Florida, you can watch the ACC Network. You'll hear Joe Z and John Bailey Jr.'s call, the QAM call on the ACC Network. You'll hear the A&M call on the SEC Network. My guest is Donna Conrad from KXXV 25, and I believe KRHD in Bryan College Station.
Yes.
Yes, and the thing I read about you, Donna, when I did some research, is you wrote a piece which I found unbelievably interesting. It was from the Courier News, and there, if you don't know where that is, that's up in Central Jersey.
Oh, you went way back.
I went back Central Jersey. I went way back. You started with The Voice in Hillsborough, 2013 to 2014, around the time I lived in Jersey. Tell us about that a little bit.
That was my high school newspaper.
Wow.
I was writing for the Voice. I was a sports editor. And I think the piece you're referring to is about Richard Sherman. Am I right?
Yes. Rich, I read that piece. I will tell you, I'm going to put it in the description. Please read it if you're a high school student. It is unbelievably important, especially today.
Oh, thank you. That's such a deep cut. That is from quite some time ago. Yeah, that was the after their playoff game against the Niners back in 2013.
I remember that game very well.
Yes, and so I remember, I felt pretty strongly about that. So I wrote kind of an opinion piece and then ended up submitting it for a sports writing contest for the Courier News.
Yes.
Very familiar and so,
with that newspaper. Very familiar.
Yeah, that's so funny. Small world.
Yes. You also worked News 12 New Jersey. I watch them all the time. They have a thing called Traffic and Weather. They have a separate channel for traffic and weather specifically.
Yeah, so I interned there. I interned there when I was in college. And I wanted to learn how to do everything. And so when I was an intern there, I interned in master control, which is behind the scenes running commercials, just so I could, learn how to do everything. And then after that, I actually started after college. My first job was with the Tri-City Valley Cats, which is the Astros single A team, or they were at the time. And I directed their live stream. And then I went to MLB Network and I worked there for 4 years, and then was doing some contracted stuff with ESPN Plus, like sideline reporting and softball analyst. And then I ended up down here in College Station, covering the Aggies. So kind of a big shift, but it was exactly what I wanted to be doing. So
yeah, right away. I mean, another thing I know, you graduate of the University of Albany. A buddy of mine's daughter went there.
Yeah, it's I enjoyed my time there. I played softball there. I do not miss the cold weather. No, I don't miss the snow, and I don't miss the wind. No. I much prefer my Texas weather, my mild winters and stuff like that.
Yes. Okay. Hopefully we'll get Mando in here. Last week, last game against Texas. The thing I stuck out to me, I was watching film of Texas, of A&M. The two games that stuck out to me, Donna, was South Carolina, the first half, and the Texas game. The Texas, and it showed me Marcel Reed. Look, we all know how good Reed is. We know how good he is with his feet and as good with his arm. The thing that really stuck out to me was the two interceptions against Texas. How is this guy? We know this guy's good. How is he getting ready to face a physical team like Miami?
Well, I think he's got to go back to what he knows, and that's not trying to force things. I think when you look at the first half of that South Carolina game and then the second half of that Texas game, it felt like he was trying to force a lot of balls down the field. And when you have the weapons that you do, I was surprised, honestly, in that second half of Texas that they didn't go to the tight ends more, because they've been a really pivotal piece of this offense when you've got guys who are going to cover Mario Craver and KC Concepcion and Ashton Bethel-Roman at this point, because there's enough tape on him now. And so, he's got other weapons, and I just think that he's got to relax a little bit. It felt like the energy in that Texas game, and this felt kind of across the board, I thought, was I saw a little bit of panic that we didn't see in other games. In the South Carolina game, they came out in the second half, and I thought the way that they played and they were able to come back showed a lot of grit and that they're not scared. And during that Texas game, it felt like they got on their heels a little bit in the second half, and then they were trying to force the ball down, especially Marcel was trying to make that big play when he didn't really have to until it got too late.
Yeah, and I noticed that too. And I was watching that tape. Really, the fourth quarter of that game really was the turning point for me on that. But the one thing I've noticed from the A&M defense is basically you can run on them, and that was the one takeaway I took watching those films. You can run on that defense.
That has been a weak spot, I would say. Not as glaring as last year. I think they have shored things up a little bit. I think honestly it depends on the running back, and obviously the Canes backfield is going to be one of the better running back rooms that they've seen this year. And so I think that will be interesting. They do a good job at times of getting to the quarterback. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. And then when you look at, and here's the matchup that I think everybody's looking at, right, is A&M is great at third down defense. But Miami's also top 20 at third down conversion percentage. And so, some of the talk this week has been Miami can get it to third and short a lot. And A&M is really good at first and second down, making those third and longs really tough to convert. And so I think that'll be a really good matchup. And you're right, though. I mean, as far as the run game goes, I think that it's important that they're able to shore up the middle, because that run defense has been a problem in the past.
Okay, we have a guest. We have now Miami Mando from the Caneswear podcast joins us. Mando, good morning, sir. Finally get to see you.
Hey, Danny, Donna, good morning. How you guys doing?
Hey,
good morning.
Donna, we were just talking about the run game, third and short. We were talking about how good A&M is on third down defense. Mando, you want to add something to that? Ask Donna a question on that.
No, absolutely. And good morning, guys. Obviously a few days away. I saw a couple of A&M's games, full games. It's going to be a big challenge. That's a really good team. Very talented, skill position. And yeah, I'm curious about the running game. I've seen some stuff about Moss. Is he playing? Is he not playing? Will he be on a pitch count per se? If you already discussed it, I'm sorry, but just joined in right now.
We haven't discussed Moss yet.
No. No, we haven't yet. And it's funny you bring that up. Le'Veon Moss is going to be a key piece if he plays. And the thing is, Mike Elko keeps it very, keeps his cards close to the vest on that. And so honestly, I'm not sure. We haven't seen Le'Veon since he went out in the Florida game. They did say it wasn't a season-ending injury. And obviously, there's been rumors that he could be back this week. I think that if he is back this week, that's a huge plus for A&M, because that run game, they've been able to be successful in a few games without him. But I think ultimately he is a difference maker with the ball in his hands. And even if he's on a limited snap count, he's just such a powerful back. And so I think he gives you a little bit extra that, obviously that they've been missing without him.
Yeah, we all know about the defense, Mando. We both know how good our defense is, with Bain and Mesidor. I know. Speaking, and we all heard the comments from Soon about Ruben Bain, how they haven't seen tape of him. What have they noticed about Ruben Bain after seeing film of him, Bain and Mesidor?
It's funny when Trey Zoon said that. Honestly, I don't know that he meant anything by it, just because we talked to them 30 minutes after the selection show. So I also don't know that they'd watched much Miami tape yet. I mean, if I had to guess looking now, they know that it's going to be a challenge. There's no doubt about that. I think when you look at the battle in the trenches that we're going to see, both lines are going to be great. And I don't know. They haven't commented much on what Miami's been able to do. I mean, they've obviously given Carson Beck his flowers, Malachi Toney on the flip side. And so I just think, this is going to be two good teams going up against each other, and we'll see what happens. But as far as, I would imagine after watching the tape that, they know that they have a challenge ahead of them. I don't think they're walking through
we
this
all
one.
know how good Howell is, right, Mando? How good Howell is for them?
Oh, of course. I don't put much, like Donna just mentioned. I don't put much stock into the talk back and forth. That's just, it's sports. It's fine. It doesn't. I know some
Right.
Canes fans are already flipping out, going crazy about it. I'm sure they
We've
know who
seen
Bane
it,
is.
Mando.
I'm sure they know
Of
who Mesidor is. The
course.
same.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't put much stock. Never put much stock into any of that stuff.
Okay.
Right.
Quick thing I gotta ask: How is A&M preparing to deal? How is the Canes receiving core against the A&M corners? Will that's going to be a challenge for A&M having to deal with Tony Daniels? I'm thinking, who else is coming back for us this week, Mondo? Do we have any idea on that?
Well, defensively, Keontae Scott's probably going to be. He's going to be on a snap count on defensively. He's a tremendous player in the secondary. But I know we got our hands full with Concepcion, and I wanted to find out about wanted to ask about Craver and what the challenges they'll present to our, because we know how stout our front four is, but I think they're going to really be a big challenge for our secondary that we probably haven't seen all season, maybe.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, we saw the Pitt game. Donna, have told back to Reed. When you see, have they looked at any tape of the Louisville game by any stretch to see? Because our weakness, Mondo, as you well know, we saw it in the Louisville game. Quick passes, they neutralized Bane and Mesidor. Has A&M looked at tape of that?
I would imagine they have, and I think that exactly that matchup of the A&M corners being able to contain the Canes wide receiving core, I think that'll be a really interesting matchup. Last year it felt like a big hole in this defense, aside from the run, was giving up explosive plays. And so with the way that Tony's able to break out and get a bunch of yards after the catch, like, I think that'll be really interesting. I don't know. Yesterday we talked to Des Ricks and Will Lee, who I think have done a really, really good job back there this year, but I don't know that they've seen, and I believe Elko said it earlier this week, I don't know that they've seen a receiver as dynamic as Tony this season.
Yeah. Mondo, you want to add to that if you can?
No, I mean, he was just named, to what Donna was mentioning, was just named freshman All-American. He was just named second team All-American, period, which we know how difficult that is. And he's on the national stage now. He, in the last month or so, when pretty much Miami was in do or die the last 4 or 5 weeks, this young man has just really turned it on. Him and Concepcion in the same field is going to be fun to watch for those that are not fans of, well, for both teams, obviously, but for the national, the noon kickoff or 11 a.m. Texas time, it's going to be a heck of a matchup for anybody to watch that loves to see great football.
Yeah, the matchups I'm going to look for, I'm going to ask each of you. For Donna, how is Adam Cushing preparing those two tackles, Crownover and Zune, to deal with Bane and Mesidor? I know you've mentioned it earlier, but how are they specifically preparing for them?
Well, look, this line has been great all year. They were semifinalists for the Joe Moore Award, and this is a group that 2 years ago was actually one of A&M's biggest weaknesses. And I think that they've got such a veteran presence on that line, and every one of their starters is returning from last year. And they've just done a really good job up front of protecting Marcel Reed. And I think, when you look back at maybe the Texas tape, there was a lot more pressure on him. And so I would imagine that, going into this one, you got to go back to what they were doing in the middle of the season, which is giving him more time to throw the ball, letting him see all of his reads and options. And so that's got to be the plan. But I mean, again, you're going against such an athletic team in Miami. And again, something that Elko has pointed out is this team is super talented, really athletic, and really physical. And so something A&M is good at is that physicality aspect as well. And so I would imagine, it's just a lot of it's about being more physical.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I'm going to ask each of you this question. Mondo, I'm going to start with you first, then I'll start and I'll go to Donna. What is the single most important factor for the Canes to win this game? Is it controlling the line of scrimmage, winning the turnover battles, or something else entirely?
Well, probably a mix of both. But one thing I wanted to ask Donna was
Please.
obviously, and I think this I've been maybe tweeting it and talking to friends about it all week, and you, Danny. I think this is the spot where this is why you brought Carson Beck here. He was a former SEC quarterback. I mean, 102,000 people would scare me to death. maybe 20,000 would. But
Yeah.
he's played in the SEC, played at Georgia, but that's going to be a raucous, crazy. I don't care if some people are happy that the game's at noon. I think it's going to be crazy regardless. So I'm curious as to what A&M, how are they going to attack defensively? I know we're talking about the offense, but what's A&M looking to do defensively? Because Beck has probably seen a lot of stuff, 4 or 5 years as a quarterback. How do they plan to attack going up against, as Donna mentioned, and you, Danny, that Miami offense?
Well, I think, the line and getting pressure is important, but they've also alluded to the fact that what you just said, Carson Beck brings a bunch of SEC experience into this game. And so they know what he's able to do. And I think for that A&M defense, and we kind of touched on this earlier with the third down, with the third down situation, right? A&M has been able to, and when their defense is at their best, they are creating third and longs by not letting them, get chunk yardage on first and second. And so I think in one sense, right, that's a strength of theirs. And their third down packages have been just elite this year. And it's what's made them really good. And it's what's made their defense be able to get off the field in a lot of situations. I think the challenge and the flip side of that, and, we were talking about it earlier, is that Miami able to, do well on first and second down. So they set up third and short. And so I think for A&M, it's really going to be crucial to limit those plays on first and second. And that way it sets them up for success on third and longs. But yeah, I mean, with Carson Beck and then all the weapons he has, there's no doubt it's going to be a challenge for them. But I also think too, you've got guys like Cassius Howe and Dayon Hayes and
Cersei.
and Torian York and Cersei. I mean, they've got a bunch of dudes that are able to do it. It's just a matter of can they apply the pressure and can they limit can they shore up the middle to limit those runs so that they're not facing third and short, because they are better on third and longs.
Yeah, the third and long, we got to stay out of that, Mando. There's no doubt about that.
I can't wait to see how our offensive line goes up against that matchup with Howell. That's going to be must-see TV, as they say. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what is the most intriguing one-on-one matchup we will see in this game? I'll ask each of you this.
I'm excited to see Will Lee and Malachi Toney. I think, I think Will Lee, they call him the blanket. And so I think that'll be a really interesting matchup to me. I think that he's done well this year, and obviously him coming in, he transferred in last year, and the last 2 years he's been good. I'm interested to see when he has to go up against somebody like a Malachi Toney with the speed and all of that. So that's one that I'm looking at for sure.
Would he be someone that would pretty much be shadowing Malachi pretty much a ton, or like throughout the game?
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, between him and Des Ricks, right? Okay. I think those two, predominantly those two you're going to see on him. I would guess.
I look at the other side. They talk about Craver and Concepcion, but a guy they don't talk about, I think it's the other wide receiver. I forget his name. Who's the other receiver they have down there?
Ashton Bethel Roman.
Yeah, that's going to be a matchup I'm going to be looking at. Now, will it be OJ that goes against Mando, or will it be maybe Damari?
Well, we know that Keontae Scott's going to be on a pitch count, so it's going to be all hands on deck. But I was going to mention, obviously, we're familiar with Concepcion from his, ACC days, but
that's right.
What is he? All-American, all-purpose. I mean, I wouldn't say one-on-one, but how are we going to defend that? That to me is going to be a huge contributor to see who wins this game.
Yeah, no question about that, without question.
Well, and I think too, when you talk about Concepcion, when you talk about Concepcion, his ability not just on the offense but what he brings to the special teams, I think that's also going to be a factor as well. I mean, you look at it's going to come down to the minute details, and what he's able to do on kick returns and punt returns is really, really impressive.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll also play a role as well. I mean, he is such a dynamic athlete. When he transferred in, there was so much hype around him, and day one when he stepped on the field, I was like, wow, this guy is as advertised. He is very, very good. And then, because of him, Mario Craver, who's also incredibly athletic, fast, and they call him twitchy, and he hasn't been at 100% the last month or so. And so he had said a couple days ago that he's back to 100%. He feels really good. And so I think we'll start to see a little bit more of Craver too come Saturday. And so I think, when you've got a couple weeks to get healthy, I think that's going to elevate, everybody, because we might see Scooby Williams too on the opposite side.
Yeah. I'm going to let you guys out of here with this. Do you have a gut feeling how this one will shake out? What's your reasoning? I'll start with Donna first.
Ooh, I don't know. It's going to be a close one. I really think this will be a one-score game.
Yeah.
And I really think that A&M has to go back to the confidence that they were playing with the rest of the season, because the last thing that we saw of them was the second half of that Texas game. That was not the same team that we had seen 95% of the rest of the year. And so I think they have to go back to playing with that confidence. And it's not the expectation, or it's not being cocky or anything like that, but it's going in with the confidence that you know how to win and you're at home. And if we're being honest, I know the 12th man isn't on the field, but they're as loud as it gets. And so I feel like that might play a role as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Overall thoughts, I think it might even be a 3-point game. I think this one might come down to a field goal.
Mando.
No, yeah, and as far as the atmosphere and all that, like, as you know, Danny, earlier in the year, we had a major problem with pre-snap penalties.
Oh, yeah.
Hoping this doesn't start again Saturday.
And that did not happen.
Yeah, A&M lost their last game, and I saw that whole game, as Donna knows, very hostile environment. It was a road game. Hey, it's a loss. Anybody can lose on any given day. We know that. I think it's a very tough opponent. We've been talking about it for a few moments now. They got playmakers everywhere. I've been telling everybody Miami 27-23, but I mean, a result either way wouldn't shock me, to be honest with you. These are two if they played 10 times, it might go 5-5. That's how I think good these two teams are. It might be a venue pick. That's why many are probably favoring them, but we will see. I think Miami by 4, but it's not gonna be easy. We'll see what happens.
I'll give mine. Mando, we went there 3-22. You know this.
You had to remind me.
We had a chance to win late, and this was Mario's first year. Let's remember that. Look at the difference between that game and now.
Different team. Yeah.
I think this is a game Miami could win. Miami should win if we don't commit turnovers and we don't make mental mistakes with the pre-snaps, like Mando said. I think we win this game. I'm going to go Canes 24, Texas A&M 21.
Oh.
All right, I'll give a prediction then. Well, you two gave scores. I'll give a score.
Yeah, we're waiting for yours.
All right. I feel like I have to. Now. I hate giving scores because I'm like, man, this could shake out anyway.
If you say A&M 30, we're hanging up right now.
Shoot, I gotta change my score.
You're all good.
I would actually go maybe A&M 28 and then Miami 24. I think I'll go 28-24.
Wouldn't shock me.
Okay.
Wouldn't shock me either way.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Okay, folks. Mando, what's the best way Mando and Donna, what's the best way for listeners to connect with you or follow your work, and what final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with? Donna, we'll start with you first, and Mando.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can follow me on X. I believe it's Donna Conrad TV. And then yeah, Instagram, I think I'm at Donna. I should know my usernames better than this. At Donna_Conrad. And then yeah, I just think I really like we just talked about. Look, this one's gonna be electric, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what Kyle Field's gonna look like for a playoff atmosphere, because I've seen it at 11 a.m. for a non-conference kick, and it's still loud. So yeah, no, I just think this one will be electric, however it shakes out.
Mondo, how do people follow you? We know, yeah. I know, but let's let our audience know.
Well, I can only imagine what the over/under on beer consumption is going to be in
oh yeah,
that morning. Yeah, as you know, once a week I do the. Sorry, I dropped my phone. Once a week I do the Caneswear podcast at Caneswear, and then you can follow me at LakersCanes305. See, I remember my names unlike somebody on here. Now,
I don't give them out that frequently.
I'm terrible with names, trust me, but that's where you can find me, and it's actually been a pleasure talking. We can't wait. We cannot wait. Yeah. First college football playoff game for both teams, right? Am I wrong?
Yes.
So not just us, them as well. So it's going to be a great. The winner plays Ohio State, so let's get it on. Let's see what happens.
All right, Donna, Mando, thank you so much, guys, for coming on today with me. Greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the game Saturday. We'll definitely talk again down the road.
Thank you, guys.
Danny, thanks so much for having me.